Hi guys, so today we are having here an A1707 which has some water damage on the USB-C connector, and we'll try to replace that connector and see what's under this burn mark here. I'm currently having my hot air at 400 degrees and 80% airflow. When the connector is loose, remove it, and hopefully we don't find that much corroded pads. And as you can see, it's looking pretty okay here. The area where we saw this big burn mark, it seems that the pad is a bit weak but still intact. So the next thing would be apply more flux and adding some low melt solder for easier wicking afterwards. And I'm only slightly running over the iron to not rip any of the pads. So this is looking pretty good so far. Now I am using this old toothbrush and clean off any of that flux. And as you can see, it's looking pretty clean already. I don't know if you can see it, but this is quite a big hole. So we will fill that hole with some solder mask. Sorry for being out of focus sometimes. The camera I have is not an autofocus. and the arm I have, or the stand, is a articulating stand. So it's flexible, and every time I put my own body weight or pressure on my table, it moves. So as this is filled pretty well, I'm gonna apply some UV light, and in the next step we will apply some flux, add some solder, and then we will sit down a new connector. And while the UV light is curing the mask, I'm sorting my table, which is always a bit messy from having all sorts of stuff laying around. So let's take a look. Where is it? Here. And I'm making sure that the mask I applied is not affecting the level of the connector. So here you can see some bumps maybe, and the mask is not hot. Damn. So let's scratch away those bumps to ensure the connector is sitting flat, and here you can see the mask didn't harden at the bottom. So let's remove it. And you know what, we can just leave the mask out, leave the hole there, it won't do any harm. It was just for optical reasons. So let's go applying flux and then adding solder to each pad here. I'm doing this with my micro pencil, so you have the best results on evenly spreading the solder. Micro pencil doesn't work well here, so I'm switching to the bigger iron. Let's try another method. Let's not actually drag solder, but you can see anything. It's pretty blurry, so let's adjust the focus. Let's actually solder or try. You should by putting down the iron, then applying solder. So let's drag some solder first, then clean it up with the bigger iron. You see on these ground pads the micro pencil isn't doing that well, so we will clean that up with a bigger iron. Much better. And you know what? Why not try another method? Let me grab the board. Or a big coil which we will run over that board. This is looking good. Where was it? Where was the coil? No, up here. We'll take this one. And you can see it. There we go. Let's remove that one and run it over the pads to spread the solder evenly. Flux will help. Then put the board aside and let's try that method. Okay? Go down the temperature to 380 and 60% airflow. Let's see how it goes. You see anything? No, it's blurry again. I really have to adjust the microscope. There you go. You see how the coil drags the solder evenly to each pad. Here we have to adjust a little bit. So here it is too much, and this one. We use the coil again. Perfect. Here a little bit too much. This looks okay. Let's clean up and look at the result. And this is looking pretty okay for the first time. But I would like to add some solder more to these flat ones. This one, here some, and remove solder from there. These connectors especially are very tedious in preparation because they have these golden brackets around. So you have to make sure all the pads are evenly tinned. Doesn't want to stick onto this one. There you go. Here's some more here. This is okay. Not happy with this one. Even better. Let's try to remove some solder from this ground pad here. Then we will give it a short reflow to check the spreading again. Okay. Clean up. Still some that need a bit more, so I'm trying without flux. So there will be some spikes on the pads, but that's not a problem because if you apply flux, the solder will most likely don't stick to the pad, but rather to your iron. Okay, let's do some reflowing again. Then check spreading, and hopefully we will be able to finally install the connector, which I sourced from the MacBook you saw I took the courier from. Okay, I can take a look now. Clean up the flux. And I'm happy with that. So next step would be applying flux. and sitting down the connector, finally. Okay. You can be generous here, it will help for connecting. This is our replacement from the bottom. Yeah, here it is from the top. So you can basically only align it by the ground pins. No other way. You don't see the actual pins. You only have the ground pins here, which connect the golden shield. So let's have a look for those. Every pin is aligned as I see it. Hopefully. Bit in this direction. Front. This should be okay. So let's hope for the best. Whoa, and it moved right into place, I think. Oh, again. No. But we'll take a look. No, it's not into place, it's out of place. I think because here we should have a connection. So the whole connector must move to the right. Let's hope it doesn't melt. There you go. Not the easiest job. Let's use a fresh wipe and you don't see anything because it's all blurred. Sorry for that. And this looks pretty clean. You know what? We can try to use the Qianli tool to go in between and test the pins if they are solid. Doesn't really fit. Let's try some notching here. See if anything moves. No. I think this should work. Okay, let's test. Let me plug in my power adapter for the DC power supply. Grab myself a USB-C port. There we go. We'll use a clean one here and see how it goes. So this is the port. Awesome. Plugging is okay. Now connecting to the and stay here. I'm going over to my phone to record the rest. from there. Typical reboot, but this is looking pretty good. And we'll have a boot. Bye bye.